Alrighty, we should be good to go here. We're going to be here for some live severe weather coverage, as we do have a pretty significant and major severe weather outbreak currently unfolding across the Central Plains. So let me just fix this right here. I make that wording strong tornadoes because the SPC has introduced to us a 10% hatch tornado threat, meaning that we have a significant chance for seeing strong tornadoes. So this is definitely going to be a very important live stream, and so again, I welcome all of you tuning in to make sure that you let me know where you're watching from, where you're tuning in from, because again, it is one of those days where it's important to know where everyone is watching from, so we know kind of what areas to cover. But if we get started here, once the radar loads, we can see we have 29 current alerts. Look how many tornado warnings we have just from the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area points north all the way up to Ada, Oklahoma here. You can see we have a bunch of tornado warnings here. We do have a tornado warning for Sulphur, Oklahoma. So again, we're going to go down the list here and just make sure that none of these are on the ground, but we're going to be here to cover all of them. And we actually do have a tornado on the ground going right for Weatherford, Texas. Alright, so if you're in Weatherford, Texas, make sure you're getting into your safe spot. Again, that's your supercell, very classic hook echo there. Luckily, or fortunately, it looks like it's just going to go just to the west of Weatherford, but if you're in that area, make sure you're getting into your safe spot there, okay? So right now, that is crossing Interstate 20 with very strong rotation, okay? So that's going to be going right through Greenwood and the west side of Weatherford, Texas. Again, that is a fairly populated area considering this is Central Texas here, so again, we want to make sure that everyone is aware of the ongoing situation, but that appears to be the only tornado we have in progress as of right now. But again, we have all of these tornado warnings to cover throughout the rest of today, because we have an outbreak of supercells here that capable of producing also very large hail. So we do have some pretty strong rotation coming up towards west of Lippin, Texas. That's going to cross I-20 shortly as well. Same with our tornado in progress near Weatherford, Texas. And then you can see another area of rotation down here south of Runaway Bay and Paradise, Texas. It's going to be crossing Highway 199 here in just a couple minutes. But we do have a severe thunderstorm warning here for Gainesville, Texas. This is for the threats of 70-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail. So make sure getting indoors and away from windows. Again, that is a considerable damage threat. And so they have actually reissued that warning for an extension there. We have another tornado warning here for Marietta, Oklahoma, for the threats of golf ball size hail and a radar indicated tornado. So again, no tornado in progress, but there is some significant rotation. And then we have a cluster of tornado warnings from Sulphur, Oklahoma, points south towards Ardmore. Alright, and then all of these are radar indicated as well. But we did just get another pretty big severe thunderstorm warning here going out for Colgate, Atoka, Caddo, Durant, Tishomingo, Milburn, Madill, and Kingston, Oklahoma here for the threats of 70-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail. So that will be in effect for the next hour and 7 minutes, showing you really the confidence in this storm from the National Weather Service and how they really know that this is going to be one of those long-tracking kind of lines here of strong to severe thunderstorms. I think we did just get another tornado warning. It's going to be a reissuance here of our tornado warning near Sulphur, Oklahoma. This is going out for Mill Creek, Pontotoc, Scullin, and looks like this is going to be for southwestern Johnson, south central Pontotoc, and eastern Murray County in southern Oklahoma. So again, no tornado in progress, but there is a significant area of rotation right into here, and so that could easily wrap up quickly there. So we'll really have to keep our eyes out for this one. And you can see another one up here towards Ada, Oklahoma, that has been rotating for a while now. So we're going to be keeping our eyes on all of these throughout today. But let me know if you guys like the new stream layout. I know it kind of looks the same, but we did change some text on the top. So if you guys like that, then let me know how it's looking. But alright, we should be good. Again, it looks like we have another area of rotation actually developing south of Schlosso, Oklahoma here. So, we'll have to watch this. This is near Union Valley. Alrighty. Alright, let me pull up, stream chat here so that I can see what everyone's doing today. Alright. What's up? 123 Rockchild, Central Ohio here. 20 on the ground. You heard about a CC. I don't know if there was a CC drop, but yeah. You know, you mentioned the other day, but bro is a W for having the things on the right. That's crazy. Yeah. Alright, we did get a new severe thunderstorm warning, I believe. That's going to be going out for Big Lake, Midkiff, Rackin, Styles, Iran, Texas here. This is for the threats of quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Gonna be in effect for the next hour and 3 minutes. I don't know why both of the warnings flashed. I think it's 2 different National Weather Service zones. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Fort Stockton a national? I don't think it is. Is it? Midland and Odessa. Okay. So yeah, I think it is. Again, this cell near Bollinger, Texas, or Bollinger, I don't know why I can't pronounce that. It does have some significant rotation, but it is also dropping golf ball size hail as well as producing 70-mile-an-hour winds. So, this is one of those cells that you really want to make sure you're getting indoors and especially away from windows with. And then you can see we do have our cell to the west of Breckenridge, Texas here for Albany. They did warn this for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, so we'll look at the progression of this, and we'll see if this thing has been strengthening at all. And it looks like for now it's been maintaining this pretty much the same general strength. So yeah. Alrighty. So I believe we did just get a extension here of our tornado warning for Weatherford, Texas. It appears that the tornado is now lifted as they have pushed this to radar indicated. So, hopefully, what happened was most of the damage done from this tornado stayed south of I-20, as that appears to be the least kind of populated area. But oh gosh, yeah, there are homes. So again, this overall structure with the supercell remains very significant, if you will. So again, I would stay in shelter if you're in downtown Weatherford, just to stay safe, because again, this just went radar indicated, so there likely isn't a tornado on the ground, but those velocities got very strong at one point. Yeah, wow. Again, if that's not contaminated, that is... Yeah, I don't know if that was contaminated. I don't think it was. Actually, no, I do think it was. My bad. Alright. believe we did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for the cell we just mentioned here. This is for Breckenridge, Eastland, Cisco, Strawn, and Ranger, Texas. This is for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds in effect for the next hour. Again, looks like some some supercells starting to develop here, so maybe some prefrontals. These could end up being mergers. Now we'll see if these are destructive mergers or if they will help. And usually in this kind of environment, these kind of mergers are the ones that really enhance the hail threat, because our lapse rates are incredibly steep. By the way, our tornado warning for Ada, Oklahoma has been pushed to observed, so we now do have a tornado on the ground doing damage near Francis, Bying, Hurd, and Happy Land, Oklahoma. Again, this is your area of rotation. When the blues and greens meet the reds and pinks, that is your couplet, and it's going to be moving right up through here. So again, if you're north of Allen, or excuse me, west of Allen, Oklahoma, or north of Stedman, you have a tornado in progress moving towards you. So again, you want to make sure you're getting in your safe spot if you are in this warning. So we're up to 6 tornado warnings as of right now, 1 in which is observed, and then we have 10 severe thunderstorm warnings here. By the way, our storm down here near Caddo and Durant, Oklahoma, has been upgraded to, I believe, a ping pong ball size hail. Alright, we did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going out for Crosbytown, Lubbock, and Post, Texas here. This is for the threats of quarter-size hail and winds up to 50 miles per hour. Yeah, that's pretty significant little squall line there. So I would not be surprised if along this line you had winds between, 50 and 60 miles per hour. I don't know why I'm writing this, but why not? Alright. So again, if you're west of or east of Brownfield near Post, Texas, or in Lubbock, you're gonna get slammed here in just a couple minutes. What you should expect is obviously, heavy rain, lightning, thunder, but a huge increase in winds. And again, I don't necessarily disagree with the 50-mile-per-hour tag, but I will say that's pretty conservative, just considering what the overall presentation looks like. By the way, Agent in Clarksville, Tennessee was telling me to tell you that he said because of you, me, and Davis, he cleared out an area of his house for a storm safe spot. That's awesome. Yeah, if he's here, I mean, that's great. What's up, Kid Storm Coverage? How's it going? Again, right now, if you're joining us, we are covering this pretty significant severe weather and tornado outbreak that will continue into tomorrow, Easter Sunday, where we do have the threat of seeing more strong and potentially intense tornadoes. So yeah. There's a chance of some very slight rotation near south of New Home, Texas. Again, it's nothing to really be concerned about at all, but just something to keep watch. Alright, so check back here on our tornado warning. About to cross I-20 here down in South Texas. The supercell structure is starting to look a little bit less impressive. My goodness, that is far away from the radar site. Why is it, dude? Is the Fort Worth radar actually closer than the Abilene radar? I find that absurd. So it's 49 miles. That's 50 miles. Oh, did not mean to click that. Hold on. That's crazy. Whatever it is, the radar coverage is horrendous. Dude, it is. Wow, okay. So, this is not the exact strength of the velocities. I know that looks insane, but this is very, I mean, we're talking extremely high up in the atmosphere. But you can still see some of that rotation. But again, we are looking in the upper levels, or I guess not the upper levels, but we're looking pretty high up in the atmosphere, considering, you know, what we usually look for during these tornadoes. We usually want to look in the lower levels of the atmosphere. That's looking pretty high up. Alright, so again, we still do have this tornado in progress near Ada and being Oklahoma. This is going up towards Holdenville, Spalding, Sasakwa, and Atwood, Oklahoma here. Again, radar coverage it's not great. The closest radar, it's the southeast Oklahoma radar hole that is killing everyone. You think he went to bed? He was in your chat earlier just talking about weather? Alright. You have a bunker in your lower basement for serious storms? I mean, I'd say a basement really is what you need, especially if you live in, like, you know, Tornado Alley or Dixie Alley. Because you can never predict, you know, if you're going to be impacted by a, you know, violent tornado. Because obviously with violent tornadoes, being in a basement can even still be life-threatening because they can rip the whole house apart. They can lift the whole house, and then the basement's exposed. So, you know, a bunker, I mean, that would definitely survive a violent tornado, as long as it's, you know, in your basement. But, I mean, again, you can't predict if you're going to be impacted by one because the chances are so rare, and the chances of you being impacted by a violent tornado are even rarer. So it's just, I mean, I don't want to say it's unnecessary, but I will say that you're gonna find that you don't need to use it that much. Hope you all had a good Easter Friday. Enjoy Easter. Thank you, dude. I really need to get a PayPal set up, and you'll donate for sure, dude. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I was thinking about getting a PayPal set up. I'll probably wait, honestly, until I get monetized, which, again, it should probably take a couple of months. But, again, I really want to just lock in on weather here. But, again, I really appreciate that, dude. You can't wait for some severe thunderstorms next week. Getting sick of some snow. We got 1 to 2 more, or more here. Wow. It's closed off with walls in the basement. Alright. Again, if you're just joining us here, or covering our pretty significant severe weather and tornado outbreak across the Great Plains. So if you haven't already, make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe button. Let's get the stream to 20 likes, and let's get this channel to 1.21k subscribers. Again, there are so many severe warnings right now, and we gotta be up to 20 at this point. Oh my gosh. I did not realize that we only had 9. I thought there were more. I guess not. We only have like 6 tornado warnings right now. 7. Again, these storms will be tracking north throughout the rest of the night into places like Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas. But really, Missouri is going to be the hot spot for tomorrow. Alright, news for thunderstorm warning. This is for Coleman, Santa Ana, Bollinger, Texas here, for the threats of half-dollar size hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds. You give up on the whole monetization thing, though. YouTube super chats are a joke, and they usually get more money than the creator. You would only do memberships, though, or memberships through them. You set up a PayPal. You don't get donuts tonight because you don't really care. You have fun helping people, just a way to go above and beyond. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't usually worry about money at all on this channel. Again, I appreciate all of the support, and just subscribing and liking my videos and even just tuning in, it helps me so much, and it just helps YouTube kind of bring this channel to more people, which the whole goal of this, again, is to keep everybody safe during these severe weather events. That's the whole reason why we're doing this. I know a lot of people may make it seem like the whole reason we're doing this is just for the views, but I can swear to you that I would not be doing this if I didn't have to keep everyone safe, if that makes sense. Or if keeping everyone safe was kind of, unimportant, if that makes sense. Alright, newsfeed Thunderstorm warning here. This is for parts of very rural Texas. There's not even a single town name in the warning, so we're just going to read off the county here. So this is for Central Crockett County in west central Texas. This is for quarter-size hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds. So if you're in this area, make sure you are getting to shelter. Indoors only for windows. Again, that's I believe that is actually part of the... Wow, okay, so yeah, it appears that there are two different QLCS lines here. One up towards Lubbock, or I wouldn't say QLCS, but two squall lines. One up towards Lubbock, and then down here near Big Leak. Alright. Again, apparently we still have a tornado on the ground north of Ada, Oklahoma. The reason why we're not looking at this too much is, again, we really don't have much in our power to kind of get an idea of what's going on here. This is very far away from the radar site, so at least in the upper or the mid-levels of the atmosphere, I guess that's where we're looking at, I guess low to mid-levels. There is some broad rotation, but I really can't tell you if I know for sure if there is a tornado on the ground or not. Again, it looks though that we do have some pretty intense rotation though. We have about 60 going against 51, so about 110 mile per hour gate to gate shear, but obviously that's elevated, so. Pretty old report here. I don't know if this is in central or eastern, but if this is in central, about 3 minutes ago actually, we did get a 2-inch hail report west of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and I believe that's what really set off the ping pong ball size hail tag here with this severe warning. It does have the tornado possible tag as well, so keep that in mind. One second, everybody. Go ahead and pin that. Might see some kinks of rotation near Big Lake, Texas, with that line later. Yeah, I think we did actually point that out. I think you're talking about the whole south one. Wow. Okay, so We got a 3-inch hail report. This is from the public. That's insane. I don't know if that's accurate, which, again, 3 inches seems pretty bizarre considering that this is a squall line and that it's been warned for quarter-size hail the whole time. But that's crazy. So, that was likely, I'm assuming that was a driver along this highway that encountered some hail. Maybe it was on the bigger side and just assumed it was 3 inches or estimated. But, I mean, whatever it means, there's some kind of hail falling, so I would not be surprised to see a slight upgrade, but I doubt we're going to see an upgrade to 3-inch hail, which, again, that's bigger than baseball-size hail, so I would push this from a quarter-size hail tag on a swell line to a destructive. So, you kind of understand how bizarre that would be. But as Mr. Twister was saying, we do actually have some rotation developing west of Big Lake, Texas. So if you're in that area, make sure you are, obviously getting indoors and away from windows, but be ready to take shelter in case. We did just get a new tornado warning. This is for Medill and Kingston, Oklahoma. This is for the next 28 minutes. Quarter-size hail and a radar-indicated tornado. So yeah, no tornado in progress, but we are watching a significant area of rotation move up in that area, so make sure you're getting shelter. Every weather creator's goal should be able to help people. Nothing else needs to be said. The views don't matter. You helped 2 people tonight. That's amazing for all you care. Yes, that is well said. How much does Pivotal Weather Plus cost? You saw I upgrade, and that's going to be beyond beneficial for the channel. Yeah, so I believe it costed $100 for the level 1 subscription. I don't know, it's like commercial and personal use or whatever. It's so weird. But the first level is $100, and I think the second is $199.99 a year. So honestly, I mean, it's really a pretty good deal. I mean, $100 is, a decent amount of money, but for the features you get, it's pretty helpful. That would be insane if they upgraded that. I just still can't believe 3 inches. It's incredible. Okay, so this zone near Bollinger, Texas actually is starting to look pretty concerning there. Developing a nice little hail core and even some, a pretty clear inflow there. Again, it's not a, crazy looking supercell because it is kind of, merged with this, cell up here towards Winters. Which looks like it did actually, that storm itself had a, full-on hail spike, but because this is the storm on the southern end of this line, what usually happens in these kind of situations is you will see that southern storm become tornadic. Now that doesn't mean this is automatically going to start rotating, but I will say we already are seeing some signs of early tornado genesis because again, you're seeing that pretty clear inflow, and then you can see kind of hooking out there. And you will start to see some stronger RFD on the backside. So I could definitely see this thing ramping up and wrapping up there. Again, the rotation doesn't look too significant, but there definitely could be some starting to kick up here soon. So we'll definitely have to watch this. Oh, and it looks like we have had some rotation over the past couple scans near Bronte and Winters, Texas. This is going up towards Tuscula. Nothing crazy, but definitely something to consider watching. And our tornado warning back here near Weatherford, Texas, is back on the ground. Now, they did push this to back down to radar indicated just as it was clipping the west side of Weatherford and is back to observed. So we now do have a tornado in progress near Springtown, Goshen, and Agnes, Texas. This will go right through Goshen, and I'm hoping it does not go through Springtown, because Springtown is a very populated area here. it looks like it will clip the west side of Springtown. I'm interested to see if this is... Okay, this is law enforcement confirmed tornado. Again, velocities are actually pretty strong, so I would not be surprised if this is actually a tornado in progress. Gate shear is 87 against 26, so it is over 100 miles per hour. Again, that doesn't always mean we have a tornado in progress, but still definitely significant there. We'll get more into models. You'll get more into models than I already am, and you think about it. Quite an investment from your financial standpoint. Yeah, I mean, it's a decent amount of money, but I would say it's worth it. But yeah, you do you, honestly. What's up? I'm live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We have a tornado on the ground north of Weatherford, Texas.
Yeah, we've also, I don't know if you've been looking at this, but check the rotation near Holdenville, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I saw that did just get warned. Is that the one west of, or east of Sulphur?
Yeah. Wait.
Oh, there it is. I see it now. Yeah, that's starting to wrap up really good.
Go one scan back.
Let's see. Oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, right there, guys. That's insane.
New tornado warning.
Still radar indicated. They just did extend that tornado warning there. It's gonna be going out for Yeager, Wetumpka, Horntown, Oklahoma here. So make sure you're getting into your safe spot. This is gonna be for East Central Seminole and Northwestern Hughes County in southern Oklahoma.
I'd also like to point out this exact area had a high-end EF3 tornado. Holdenville did around 1 year ago on the dot.
Really? I remember those velocities.
During the April 27th event.
Oh. Yeah, that was where we had the infamous 168 pixel. That was insane. Those alarms are kind of scary. I mean, I only use them because it kind of lets me know that another tornado warning just got issued, so I can check it out. But I also want to make sure that everyone's like aware that things are getting a little bit more serious. So. Is Davis going live tonight? Are you?
Probably not. I've just been kind of out after the past couple days, and I was kind of sidetracked with a couple of things. I'm finishing my video getting all wrapped up.
Alright. Yeah, I've been quite busy myself, but I did want to just pop on here for an hour or two just to make sure that everyone's aware of what's going on, because again, it is pretty significant what we've got unfolding right now. I don't know if we've already peaked as far as our tornado threat goes today, but
Hello?
sorry about that.
Yeah, I was just saying I already did a stream earlier today, so.
Alright. So our area rotation is just about a couple miles south of Holdenville, Oklahoma here. About 5 miles south of there, so either Spalding or Holdenville, make sure you're getting into your safe spot. now have a cluster of tornado warnings west of Fort Worth, Texas here. And wow, okay, so our tornado warning for our cell that just went through the west side of Weatherford is now warned for tennis ball size hail. At least the tornado warning has that tag. So if we do get a severe warning for that cell, we'll likely see a big time hail tag with that. Alright, new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going out for Gertie, Calvin, Stewart, Ashland, and Stonewall, Oklahoma. This is for the next 1 hour and 4 minutes. Quarter size hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds expected. This is for northern Cole County, southeastern Seminole, eastern Pontotoc, north central Atoka, and southern Hughes County. I know I said that wrong, didn't I?
No, you got them all.
Oh, really?
From what I can tell.
But again, that cell near coming up towards Weatherford, this is not the same cell that put down that tornado, but it's another one coming up behind it that looks like did kind of just pop up recently. Now has a very impressive looking hail core here, with a full-blown hail spike as well. The hail core is 70 plus dBZs, and again, this is tornado warned, and it does have the tennis ball size hail tag, so if they do eventually warn the cell, it'll likely be warned for hail around 2 inches in diameter. But it looks like for now our hail core is up to about 73 dBZs, which again is pretty significant, but that is just going to be about a mile north of Millsap, Texas.
By the way, our new SPC update for tomorrow will be coming out in about 2.5 hours. I would not be shocked if they went with a 10% hatch tornado risk for parts of Missouri. Again, they've already got that 10% threat out there. The only real issue with tomorrow's threat is going to end up being storm mode, and then our lapse rates could be a little bit higher as well. But outside of that, we're definitely looking at a potential significant tornado threat there tomorrow, especially from sections of Missouri back down into areas in northern Arkansas there. So, again, would not be shocked to see that hatch risk get put in place.
Yeah, so I believe National Weather Service St. Louis did mention the threat of a couple intense tornadoes, and they did something interesting where they did kind of, they did some feature on their, kind of briefing on their homepage where they kind of showed what what scale severe weather event this is going to be. And they put this at, I believe it's a level 3 out of 4, so just under an outbreak of severe storms. So they're saying that we're going to have just under an outbreak of severe storms with the threat of seeing a couple intense tornadoes. So, pretty interesting wording there. But if you look at our storm up towards Mislap, you can see how quickly this thing exploded in intensity with that vertically integrated liquid signature. This thing has been gaining strength very rapidly as it becomes more and more discrete. So, this is going to likely, again, have the potential to produce tornadoes down the line once it really gets its act together. But at this point, it's got a full-blown hail spike as well as, obviously, the 70-plus DBZ values up there. So, pretty significant stuff. Do you want to take that severe warning?
Yeah, so that new severe thunderstorm warning there that has just been issued, that is going to be going out for, it is not loading for me, that is going out for portions of, okay, fun. So it just, oh wait, there we go, okay. So that new severe thunderstorm warning there going out for portions of north central Texas. This is associated with another little QLCS that we have developing west of the DFW Metroplex. This is mainly going to promote a threat for damaging winds. Now, this may seem problematic at first, but keep in mind this is actually going to be saving us from a greater tornado threat later down the line because this line is moving faster than our supercells that are producing tornadoes off to the east. There's a good chance that whenever this line starts to come through, we'll start to see it kind of suck up those supercells and heavily limit any sort of tornado threat from occurring across portions of North Texas here over the next couple of hours. So again, some damaging winds, a small price to pay here.
Yeah. again, I don't know what this was about, but we did get a 3-inch hail report from the public west of Big Lake, Texas. Now, again, I'm interested to know why they went with a 3-inch hail tag. Now, that kind of convinces me that we have hail larger than quarter size falling, but I really doubt we have 3-inch hail falling. So, we did...
That was from 2 hours ago.
Oh, it was? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a couple minutes ago. I didn't see it, I guess. We did just get a new tornado warning for Tupelo, Centrahoma, Witch Hole, and Colgate, Oklahoma here. This is for the next 44 minutes. Quarter-size hail and a radar-indicated tornado. So again, no tornado in progress, but we do have some significant rotation moving up in that area. Then we did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going out for Denison, Sherman, and Whitesboro, Texas, for the threats of quarter-size hail and 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I'm gonna be real. I thought that was the 80-mile-per-hour tag, and I got kind of jump scared.
By the way, Storm Prediction Center just noted that they are going to be issuing a new tornado watch within the next hour for sections of northwest Arkansas and east central Oklahoma, as a tornado threat will continue with our QLCS.
Yeah. Alright.
So, they have mentioned the threat for a couple of strong tornadoes there in that mesoscale discussion, so definitely still don't want to underplay that or anything. Again, if you are out there in eastern Oklahoma or western sections of Arkansas, you need to be on the lookout for tonight. Make sure that you have multiple receive alerts if you're planning on going to bed anytime soon.
Again, the latest tornado watch is for Brownwood, Brady, Kingsland, Caryville, Junction, Sonora, San Angelo, and Del Rio, Texas, for until 5 a.m. Central Daylight Time, for a couple tornadoes possible, scattered hail up to 2-inch size possible, as well as scattered gusts up to 70 miles per hour possible.
All right, Vincent, I have to stop you there. Okay, this is something that I hate to be a nerd about, but I remember 1 year ago, you pronounced that town Caryville during our eclipse cloud cover forecast.
Oh, it's Caryville. I'm sorry, guys. That's Caryville, Texas. Dang. All right. Thank you for the heads up there.
That's been bugging me for the past year. I don't even know why.
I said that for the eclipse. How do you remember that?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
You can watch the video though.
Oh my gosh. All right. That's Caryville, Texas.
It's Kerrville.
Kerrville. Again, I would not be surprised if we saw something wrap up near Coleman, Texas, and Santa Ana, Texas, as the inflow in that storm is starting to clear out a little bit. So we'll watch it as it progresses off to the east. Again, not really seeing any significant rotation, but there is some rotation developing west of Glen Cove. Wow, that's really funny. But yeah, it's gonna be going up toward.
We have a confirmed tornado now in Oklahoma.
All right. That's an inside joke, everybody. Don't worry.
So confirmed tornado now approaching Kingston, Oklahoma. Again, it's a embedded tornado in our line of storms here. There actually was a app that has a special radar out there in Oklahoma that showed that rotation wrapping up quite a bit. So I'm not too shocked that has produced a tornado. But if you're in this area, you need to be getting underground if you can. If you can't get on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows and in an interior room. Again, that's a Weather Spotters confirmed tornado as of 4 minutes ago.
It's going to be going up towards Madill, Kingston, Little City, Cumberland, and Lynn, Oklahoma. But as we mentioned, again, that cell we talked about 20 minutes ago down here near Santa Ana and Coleman, we saw it was wrapping up. Well, it actually is now starting to develop some decent rotations. So again, we'll have to watch this over the next couple of scans to see what it wants to do here. But yeah. Mr. Twister, it is 11:50 at night, so I will not be able to.
So, Vincent, I'm going to send you a picture here of what that radar was showing. Again, you can actually see this was about 10 minutes ago, but you can see a very clear, like, beautiful embedded supercell on reflectivity. I just sent you an image there.
Alright, I can't pull it up on stream, but I'm just gonna show it to the camera. Wow, that is amazing. Yeah, so again, the reflectivity presentation is actually quite beautiful here. This is from a different, like a special radar from a weather app. And that is the same storm that is currently producing a tornado near Medill, Oklahoma. So even though it doesn't look intense on Radar Mega, it doesn't mean that it's not a tornado because, again, this is extremely far away from the radar site. But believe me, there is something going on here, something wrapping up in between Medill and Kingston. And it's going to be going up towards Lynn and Little City in the next couple minutes. So you really need to make sure that you're taking this seriously. But thank you for sending that.
Yeah, it was actually up on Riley Dibble. He was pulling it up and pointing it out, and I saw that about 10 to 15 minutes ago, and I was like, should I say something about that? But I didn't know exactly how accurate that radar was. I've heard people talk about the Durant radar before, but it got this one spot on, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna say the Glen Cove lore because again, it's an inside joke. We're just gonna leave it at that. But all right, new tornado warning here. This is for Calera, Meade, Colbert, and Chile. Oklahoma here. This is for the next 23 minutes, quarter-size hail, and a radar-indicated rotation. This is near Platter, Pickwick, and Colbert. Again, that's your area of rotation within our little line here. That's going to be going up towards this area, so make sure you're getting shelter. Yeah, like David said, I believe that was from Riley Dibble, so I don't know if that's GR2. I don't think it is.
No, it is, and again, I've seen people use that before. I actually saw Kevin was talking about it one time, but, it is, I don't even know what the app's called, but it is some special radar app that has a radar in Durant, Oklahoma, which is right near where that tornado is located.
Yeah. So again,
which I will say, that's a radar that we need public in that area. Like,
oh, yeah.
That would so many lives.
It really would. So, we do have an area of rotation still with our cell over Cool, Texas. Very cool. Get the joke? It's pretty, it was a knee slapper, wasn't it?
Actually, I shouldn't slap my knee too hard.
It looks like the hail core is actually starting to diminish here as the cell continues to move north. So again, we'll see what happens with this. It looks like it will go through a merger here. So we'll see what happens with that cell. But we did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going out for Sterling City, Carlsbad, and Mertzen, Texas. This is a destructive. This is for 80-mile-per-hour winds, and quarter-size hail. Does also have the tornado possible tag. Stormer Media is actually getting ready to intercept this part of our major squall line here that we talked about earlier. I don't know if that prompts you to go live at all because you have them, but just to let you guys know, we do have a chaser in that area, so we will be able to get some reliable reports.
By the way, I want to bring your attention back to Holdenville, Oklahoma. That rotation has not let up hardly at all since we last looked, so good chance that is going to have the potential to produce a tornado if it's not already actively producing one here very soon.
And we did just get a new tornado warning here for Milburn, Kenfick, and Caddo. They reissued the tornado warning for Medill and Kingston. So again, if you're in this area, make sure you're getting to shelter. But like David said, we're gonna check back up here on our Holdenville, Oklahoma tornado, or at least rotation here. And yeah, right over here near Horntown. It's currently directly over the town. They should have sirens blaring there. But again, that's going to be going right over Horntown as we speak. News for Thunderstorm warning. This is for Bridgeport, Decatur, Paradise, the east side of Bowie, Texas here, and Roston. This is for 65-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail, so make sure that you are getting indoors and away from windows. But I do want to go back over to our storm here. This is just to the west of San Angelo. Again, a destructive for 80-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail, and you can actually see some rotation embedded with our line here. So very concerning stuff going on with this line. Wow.
Stormrunner Media just got the wireless emergency alert there, because those go off for, a lot of people think they only go off for tornado warnings. They do also activate for destructive severe thunderstorm warnings, which are severe thunderstorm warnings that have the potential to produce damaging winds up to 80 miles an hour or greater, or baseball-sized hail or greater. Also, rotation really getting quite intense with that storm near Cool.
Alright, let's check that out. I believe it's over here. Holy crap. Look at the reflectivity.
Yeah.
That's, wow, okay, so, this cell here, it's a very small, like, it's a miniature supercell, but that cell merger is really enhancing the tornado potential with this.
So again, if you are in that tornado warning, you need to make sure that you're getting underground if possible. If you can't get on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows and in an interior room. That the part of the storm that's producing rotation, again, that's going to be moving through Austin, Adele, and Peaster over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. But remember, even if you don't get in on that tornado threat, we also suspect that this supercell is producing hail potentially all the way up to tennis ball size. So, again, ignore the voice crack, but, and, hold on. Reportedly, we have a, hold on. Sorry.
It's alright.
Okay, so, by the way, our Cool Texas supercell now has a law enforcement confirmed tornado with it, according to Max Velocity Stream. Again, it's not up on radars or updated for the National Weather Service warnings or anything like that, but you have to remember those reports are coming in slow today with short staffage. So, good chance that we have a ongoing tornado near Cool, Texas.
Again, that's going to be going up towards Austin and Adele, so that really just did ramp up over the past couple of scans. Again, it's very contaminated, but you can still pick out some pretty significant rotation right over Garner and Austin. So if you're in this area, you need to make sure you are getting in your safe spot, because again, we apparently do have a tornado on the ground according to law enforcement.
Also like to note, this is less than 10 miles away from where we had a previous significant tornado just a few hours ago. But again, National Weather Service, you guys may have noticed this with the Arkansas tornado that we had last night, and then also with our Wedge, Texas tornado that we had earlier today. The warnings haven't been going observed until 10 to 15 minutes after the actual report comes in that it's been confirmed because of short staffing. So again, we need to make sure that we are staying on top of things, looking at all those reports. So again, that's what I'm going to kind of be doing here on the back end, so that Vincent can cover the radar. And then I'm going to get as much information as possible on these reports.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's very helpful. Look at velocities on our destructive storm. Again, it's extremely broad rotation, or it could just be outflow, but look how strong, it's gone. Yeah, multiple pixels over 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, so, again, if you're there near Austin or Adele, you need to make sure that you are, again, if you're not already in your safe spot, you need to go now, because rotation is quite literally on top of you. The new reflectivity scan This is now a LP hook echo, which is something that we usually end up saying whenever we've got a very intense area of... Again,
I'll be right back.
Or emergency management confirmed, approaching Springtown, Texas. Again, this is one of the more impressive supercells that we've seen all day. So, if you're in this area, you need to get to your safe spot immediately. If you're in a mobile home, you gotta evacuate. But likely a large tornado on the ground here.
Again, wherever you see that little area of reflectivity that looks like a ball, that is not a debris ball, but somewhere in here, within your hook echo, that's where your tornado is located, and it's going to be going up towards Adele, Peaster, and Goshen.
So again, that is an emergency management confirmed tornado there, and again, this has also been confirmed from a couple other sources as well, but absolutely an ongoing tornado here approaching Springtown, Texas. So if you're in this area, we need you to be running, not walking to your safe spot, because this is a pretty dangerous situation. Again, due to short National Weather Service staffing, we're likely going to not get too many more reports if this thing becomes more intense or something like that. So we've really got to stay on top of things, not just with the reports, but also with radar, because in a situation like this, radar is going to be our best bet on getting information, because we don't have any chasers out here, I don't think, and spotters are limited out here.
We did just get a newsfear Thunderstorm warning. This is going out for Waletka, Clearview, Henrietta, Hoffman, Schulter, and Stidham, Oklahoma here. This is for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is actually the same storm that is currently trying to produce a tornado near Holdenville and Horntown, Oklahoma. So if we check back here in on our rotation, you can see it is still very tight and looking pretty strong there. So significant rotation south of Wetumpka. The next scan did get very broad, so we'll see what happens with this storm, but we do have the tornado possible tag with that warning.
By the way, I do want to note this. Potentially a ongoing tornado approaching Decatur, Texas. Heavily contaminated on the velocities, and again, that's likely not a debris signature that we're seeing on the reflectivity, but they literally did just give that a tornado warning as I say that. So, new tornado warning for Decatur, Texas. If you're in this area, you need to be seeking shelter immediately.
What storm is that?
That is Decatur, Texas. Brand new tornado warning.
I don't know why it's not coming up. Let's see. Decatur.
That is for portions of central Wise County until 11:30 p.m. Again, somewhat discrete supercell, so we've definitely got to watch out here, as this has the very real potential, and honestly, decent chance that this is actively producing a tornado as it approaches Decatur.
Yeah.
Has it popped up for you yet?
Yeah, it did. I just didn't see the warning. Again, your air rotations over Paradise, heavily contaminated there, so not the exact, tornadic winds there, but very clear inflow with that storm as well. So these two are the, kind of, dangerous supercells that are the most discreet out of all the ones we have now. The rest of them are kind of congealing into this big line or cluster of storms, so really what I think will happen throughout the rest of the night is we likely will see kind of the tornado threat gradually decrease across eastern Oklahoma. Now, I still do think a couple embedded tornadoes will be possible, and I really don't expect too much from that later today. I think the biggest tornado threat in play for at least the foreseeable future, you know, over the next couple hours is going to be across northern and central Texas.
I'd also like to bring your attention once again back to that embedded area rotation in our line in Oklahoma and Horntown, getting very intense as that approaches Waletka. So, Waletka, Oklahoma, you need to make sure that you're getting underground if possible.
Yeah.
Again, pretty intense rotation there, northeast of Horntown at the minute.
And back to our destructive again. This is in effect for the next 55 minutes. Velocities have really increased there south of Old Burke Place. At one point, we did have many pixels above 100 miles per hour. Again, this is very elevated. We did have a pixel showing about 170 mile per hour winds. So, again, that could just be outflow, but we could also have some very broad rotation developing. So we will have to watch that for, again, that major wind threat, but also possible tornado threat, because that does the tornado possible tag. Gotta go. Peace, chat. Probably talk to y'all tomorrow or something. Enjoy your Easter, you and Davis. Happy Easter, Mr. Swister, and thank you for tuning in. Alright, news for Thunderstorm warning. That is going out for Mertzen, Texas here. This is the same storm. What was that? Why did they just issue another warning?
It is,
different zone?
So, the new severe thunderstorm warning, that would be, probably just to, extend the warning, just in case the other one expires before the storm passes. That's about the only thing Whoa, it is 100 miles an hour!
Are you serious?
Oh my goodness, I'm going live.
Holy crap! Okay. So, yeah, okay, so this is the same part of the line we were talking about earlier. Yeah, those winds are outflow winds. We have 100 mile per hour winds ripping right through Mertzen, Texas. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Again, that is one of the first times I've ever seen the 100 tag. That is insane. Oh my gosh. Okay, probably the right move. But that is insane. 100 mile per hour winds ripping right through Mertzen, Texas. That is crazy.
By the way, that also marks off a bingo card spot.
That's also crazy.
Alright, I am about to get my live stream set up here, so I will call you back in about 2 minutes.
Alright. Again, if you're just now tuning in, we have 100 mile per hour winds ripping right through Mertzen, Texas. Again, I can't stress how rare this is. I know this is extremely rural Texas, but there are definitely some people in the way of this line, including Mertzen and Sherwood, Texas. And there could definitely be some communities along the highway here. So if you're traveling on Highway 853 and you did just get this warning for 100 mile per hour winds, if you're driving a car or a semi or, any high-profile vehicle, you need to get off, park your car, and get out of your car because it is going to topple. Because we know not only do we have a destructive, but this is born for 100 mile per hour winds. Again, that's insane. Yeah. I know you can't see it. Looks like it's for 80, but that's because it overlaps the warning. Again, the very concerning part of this is that this is going right towards San Angelo. Now that's gonna take probably another hour or so, but that is insane. Yeah, this is crazy. And again, that could even be some rotation developing too, but whatever it is very strong outflow. That was not expected today at all. That's a 100 mile per hour destructive. This is an extremely dangerous situation. Yeah, that one scan really gave it away. I did not realize that. Yeah, look at that. 100-mile-per-hour destructive. Gosh. Alright, just posting this to Twitter. Alright. Wow. So again, it looks like it has actually laid off in the past couple scans, but we still have very significant damaging winds here. Again, this is up to 90 miles per hour still. So, I do want to see. Okay, so this is radar indicated. Remain alert for possible tornado. For your protection, move into an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. So again, they are putting the tag that they would put on for a tornado warning. And you are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Expect considerable damage to homes and businesses. Expect extensive tree damage and power outages. Again, this will be near Sherwood and Mertzon, Texas, around 11:25 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Again, right now it's midnight where I'm at right now, but I am going to stay here until this thing expires. Again, this is insane. Not what I expected tonight at all. That's crazy. I believe Davis is actually live now. And SRM is actually about to intercept this. Yeah, I just realized how close they are. Yeah, they are minutes away from intercepting likely 100-mile-per-hour winds. Again, they'll probably continue on Highway 249 before moving north here to get in the way of these 100-mile-per-hour winds. But that's just crazy. Yeah, and it's still picking up there. Again, the highest it got was about 107 miles per hour there. Which, again, at this point, it seems like that was likely around the actual wind speed, considering that we have a 100-mile-per-hour destructive. Which, again, I'm trying to stress as much as possible how rare this is. You do not see this, more than 2 times a year. Can you hear me? Alright.
Again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. If you can, share the stream, because this is a likely catastrophic situation about to unfold, and in areas near Old Burke Place, Texas, and surrounding regions. Again, Storm Media is about to get the intercept of a lifetime here. It actually looks like they're going to stay south of the main core because they don't want to drive through that, and I don't blame them. These are the elevation of wind gusts that have that potential to genuinely flip over semis, obviously, and some larger cars. So you've really got to be being careful. If you do have to drive out here, again, it's not recommended, but if you absolutely have to, you have to drive with extreme caution. Again, luckily this is a extremely rural area. These are mountainous regions of West Texas, but it doesn't matter. Again, if you're in this area, you need to be seeking shelter.
Yeah, this is something that you really need to make sure you're taking seriously. By the way, our rotation over Decatur, Texas is still very strong and very tight.
Yeah, I just mentioned that a second ago there. Again, there's the very real potential that we do have a ongoing tornado on the west side of Decatur. So if you're in this area, you need to make sure that you are seeking shelter. Again, if we're going to see something tornadic, it's likely going to come out of these supercells here on the northwest side of the DFW Metroplex. So, again, going back over 2 hours, severe thunderstorms actively producing 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Yes, 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts at the surface. We have a storm spotter approaching those right now. Again, we've also got storm intermedia. It looks like they're not going to even attempt to drive through that, but we're still likely going to see some elevation of those winds that they are about to go through the worst of this over the next couple of minutes. So again, you're going to have a live look at that just above my head, though. That is live from storm intermedia. But again, an unbelievable situation about to unfold here northwest of Mertzen. It's also worth mentioning that this storm does have the tornado possible tag associated with it because we do have some broad rotation. Again, if that tightens up any, we could be dealing with a strong tornado threat, but the chance of that is quite low due to the fact that this is a QLCS, not a discrete supercell or anything like that. But again, either way, you need to make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately. I saw that, Stiff. Ada, Oklahoma, we did just have a tornado move through the northeast side of town. Again, quite an intense one, which is quite unfortunate because we just had one roll through that same exact area just a couple of months ago. Either way, you need to make sure that you are seeking.
And that is insane.
So, anyways, if you are in this region, you need to make sure that you're seeking shelter. This is an extremely dangerous situation for areas southwest of San Angelo, Texas. Again, on the velocities, we are still measuring wind gusts of 100 miles an hour or so, a few thousand feet up into the atmosphere, admittedly, but still quite intense here as this moves northwest of Mertzen. And again, eventually this will be moving towards Carlsbad. New severe thunderstorm warning just issued there. That is a very large one. That covers a good chunk of our line of storms moving through Oklahoma right now. This is for damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour and $half size hail for Atoka, Colgate, and Durant. If you're in this area, make sure you're moving indoors and away from windows immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did just have a high-end EF1 tornado impact Ada, Oklahoma last month, and now we already have reports of tornadic damage from that region. So pretty devastating stuff. Again, we're going to see what happens there. We do have Storm Spotter in Ada right now, so we're going to likely see those reports come in pretty soon here. But remember, they're going to be somewhat delayed due to a lack of staffing. All right. So again, if you're in this area, you need to make sure that you are treating this like it's a tornado warning because these are, again, equivalent to EF1 tornado force winds here. But again, the problem with this compared to an EF1 tornado, this is, a 10-mile wide swath. With an EF1 tornado, at most you're talking about, I'm going to say 1.8 miles because that's what we had the other day. But usually at most with a EF1 tornado, force winds here. This is an extremely large area. So you got to be careful out there and make sure that you are seeking shelter.
Yeah. Yeah, this is very crazy stuff that you're seeing here. So if you're just not joining us, we do have a 100-mile-per-hour severe thunderstorm warning. This is just to the west of San Angelo, Texas for Mertzen. We do have storm intermedia. That's actually, they're literally positioning south of the highest area of winds because these are such destructive and dangerous winds that we have going on with this. But the 100 mile per hour severe warning will end in 25 minutes. So I'm interested to see what kind of wind tag that they will put the storm with if they do reissue that warning for San Angelo.
If I had to guess, it would probably be about 70 miles an hour. Again, at this point, just looking at past velocity frames, the highest area of winds obviously nowhere nearly as intense as it once was, and I think that trend's going to continue as this pushes further off to the east. But definitely very unexpected to see that tag out there. But again, it makes sense as we go back, say an hour ago. If we look at these velocity skins, not even an hour ago, like 30 minutes ago, these were unbelievably intense across the west of Mertzon area, again near Highway 163, just 20 miles south of where we had that wedge tornado earlier. We were measuring 100 to 110 mile an hour wind gusts on the velocities just a few thousand feet up in the atmosphere. So again, definitely had that potential to be, 100 mile an hour winds, or potentially even slightly greater than that at the surface. But luckily, this is an extremely rural area, so likely not going to end up seeing any sort of damage out of that. New tornado warning just issued. That's going to be going out for portions of southeast Oklahoma. That is for an embedded area rotation in our line of storms near Durant. If you're in this area, you need to make sure that you're seeking shelter immediately. Lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows in an interior room. Again, looking at this on the terminal radar from Dallas-Fort Worth, we still can't really see too much there. Again, there is a radar app where you can see that radar in Durant, Oklahoma, but it's not public for the most part, so. Anyways, again, if you are west of San Angelo here, without a doubt, you need to make sure that you're getting to your safe spot. Again, storm intermediate, not even in the highest elevation area of those winds. Again, they're probably getting about 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts right here. Again, you can see those bushes shaking around and stuff. They're just now getting on the move, so we'll see what they're going to do here. We did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning to the south for damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour and $half sized hail, and that's going to be going out for parts of I-10. That's going to be going out for very rural sections of southwest Texas there.
Yeah.
Holy Inda hit major damage. Are you out there in Ada, Oklahoma? I feel like I recall you saying something about that. If you are, just let us know what you're seeing. Again, I'm praying for you, man. Again, that's awful. 2 months in a row you get hit by decently strength tornadoes.
Again, right now, kind of tracking SRM's move right here.
Whoa, Matt with the $2 dono. W, Matt's in the chat. Sorry.
Looks like right now they are heading west. I'm wondering if they're just driving into this, or if they're gonna try to get north. But we'll see. Alright, we did just get a new tornado warning. This is going out for Gertie and Stewart, Oklahoma. This is for radar indicated rotation. And it appears that we have no hail falling with this pocket of our line here. But again, it's very hard to tell how strong this actually is because of how far away from the radar site it is. But you can still see some broad rotation over Gertie right now.
So again, likely going to see a reissuance of this severe thunderstorm warning shortly, mentioning 70 to 80 mile an hour wind gusts likely still being a possibility as this portion of the line approaches Carlsbad and San Angelo. So if you're in this area, make sure that you are prepared to seek shelter if necessary. Again, unbelievable. 100 mile an hour wind gusts, and again, it was out there where nobody probably even saw it. So we did not have any chasers go through that specific pocket of winds, because again, I don't blame them for not wanting to drive through that.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, even just now, storm intermediate is getting about 50 mile an hour gusts, and you can see the impacts of that at the surface. So, again, 6 tornado warnings remain in effect here. Most of them at this point being for the line of storms in southeast Oklahoma, just more embedded areas of rotation popping up. But I will say, again, this little supercell here near Springtown, Texas, it's going to continue to try to do something. Again, we're not going to guarantee that it's going to succeed, but it's going to try to pop off a tornado here. I'd also like to note the supercell off to the west just underwent a cell merger approaching Jacksboro, Texas, so we'll watch for an uptick in rotation with that. But new severe thunderstorm warning there going out for Cross Plains, Texas for half dollar-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. If you're in that area, make sure you're getting indoors and away from windows.
Looks like there's someone on Twitter that is right in the path of the highest pocket of winds. So, we'll maybe see if we can get some updates from them. But
They just downgraded that to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
alright, so we no longer do have that 100-mile-per-hour severe warning, but again, still extremely damaging winds here north of Mertzen, Texas, approaching the greater San Angelo area. So make sure if you're in this area, you're getting into an interior room.
And again, the good news is, in this area, we have such clear, clean-cut velocities that we can kind of get an estimation just based off of radar on what's going on. This would be about this would be, 2,000 to 3,000 feet up in the atmosphere here. We're measuring gusts, 84 miles an hour. So, again, still have a decent pocket of 75 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts at the surface as this approaches areas of southwest of Carlsbad along Highway 67. So if you're in this area, we recommend that you stay in your safe spot. But again, we can inform you that at this point it's no longer quite as urgent of a still pretty intense though.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
I believe we did just get a new tornado warning.
We did not. I mean, we got one 4 minutes ago. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but...
Oh, I have notifications on for NWS tornado,
Right.
so...
Yep, you're right. It just popped up late. My bad.
No, you're good.
So, new tornado warning there going out for Colgate, Wapanucka, and Atoka. If you're in this area, make sure that you're seeking shelter immediately. Papa Smooth. We do have some reports of flash flooding from downtown Oklahoma City. And again, that's going to continue as more moderate to heavy rainfall continues to fall over the metro.
We do have a flash flood warning in effect for the next 1 hour and 17 minutes there for the east side of OKC. So again, if you're in that area, make sure you are getting to higher ground.
Alrighty.
Staying off of those roadways, especially at night, because it is harder to tell what's in front of you at night, obviously. So again, you want to make sure that you're turning around and you're not drowning.
I'd also like to note there's a pretty clear elevation now in the outbound winds of our elevated pocket of winds that was originally warned for 100 miles an hour. So there's a good chance that this is at least trying to wrap up some broad rotation as this approaches Carlsbad. So I'd be on the lookout for this because there's a good chance that this tries to produce a tornado here.
Yeah, that is definitely something that we were watching over the past couple scans. So like David said, again, that could wrap up here in just a couple scans, and it's actually looking like it's trying to do that right here. So we'll have to continue to watch that as it approaches San Angelo.
Again, somewhat concerning there. I will say the reflectivity presentation, you can notice also that there is a somewhat of a hook echo there, or some sort trying to develop. So again, definitely at least a broad pocket of rotation developing here north of Highway 67, approaching Carlsbad and Water Valley, Texas. And again, this area, legitimately, that exact same area already had a pretty significant tornado earlier today, so it would be somewhat of a shame. I mean, it would be quite a shame if we saw another one, but unfortunately, it's looking like that's going to be a good possibility. So here in the area, you need need to be making sure that you're staying in your safe spot. Again, even though this has been downgraded wind gusts, 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, you are still going to see extreme impacts to trees, power lines, mobile homes, all sorts of stuff. Again, 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts are considered to be destructive. So if you're included in that severe thunderstorm warning, you want to make sure that you are treating that like a tornado warning and getting to your safe spot, because those are low-end EF0 tornado force winds.
Look near Gertie, Oklahoma. It is it is one of our tornado warnings. I just want to note that the area of rotation seems to be strengthening. I just want to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because, again, obviously contamination and such, but again, if you are in Gertie, just make sure you are in your safe spot. But at this point, it's looking like this is pretty much passing through Gertie, so it'll be over within the next 5 minutes or so. But again, definitely a chance for any of these little, embedded rotations to produce a brief tornado here in southeastern Oklahoma.
It looks like our overall severe threat across Oklahoma and northern Texas seems to be kind of diminishing here. We're seeing a couple tornado warnings here and there, but really some minimal impacts as far as, wind and hail goes. But the reason why we're staying alive again is because we did just get a 100-mile-per-hour destructive severe for areas just to the west of San Angelo, which has now been downgraded to 80 miles per hour. So we're going to stay here just kind of to continue to watch this as it... Wow, okay. Yeah, look at rotation on that. That's not good.
So that's getting a lot tighter there. So again, as we mentioned, you want to make sure that you are taking shelter. Again, very interesting because at this point it doesn't even really line up with our hook echo. So again, it's interesting because it's partially contaminated. It's messy, but again, you want to make sure that you're taking that as seriously as possible and seeking shelter.
Yeah.
I did want to mention this. Mr. Twister just created a community post and added me. Look at this. Is this a new YouTube feature? Because I've seen these little screens before, but this says founding member of Davis Does Weather. I started supporting them before everyone else. I don't know how you get that badge. I don't know if that's been there for a long time or not, but that is awesome.
That's cool.
So if you guys get that little notification, at me in a community post, and I'll show it on stream. Yeah, so that's area rotation continuing there as this approaches Carlsbad, Texas. I would not be shocked to see this get a tornado warning here. Again, we do have storm runner media on that storm there. It's going to take them a while to get up there, though. So. See Wolf Lover, what's up, Roman? What's up, random texting guy? Been watching Max intently for several hours. Weather's been insane with many tornado warnings from central Texas into southern Oklahoma, certainly. Well, and I mean, it hasn't been, even isolated to southern Oklahoma. We're starting to get into central Oklahoma and eastern Oklahoma. It's been quite intense. And we've even been watching a couple more thunderstorms convect here along the East Coast, but at this point, that activity's mostly ended. But we did have I believe, an 81-mile-an-hour gust. Let's see here. Yeah, an 81-mile-an-hour gust recorded at just over 2 hours ago near Foxville, Pennsylvania. So again, don't sleep on those windbags.
I think the Medill, Oklahoma radar app thing is a news station app from, that area.
That sounds right, yeah.
And I think that they use that radar. Because I saw the news station for that area using the same exact radar with the same exact frame, so that's kind of convincing me that that's the case. By the way, I believe... Hold on. I just saw a report from Arden, Texas on Twitter. I need to look back.
New velocity scan there again. Just very intense, but still somewhat broad rotation northwest of Arden, Texas. So if you're in this area, make sure that you are staying in your safe spot. Again, you're not technically under a tornado warning, but with winds of 70 to 80 miles an hour, it's best to just take the proper precautions. Again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. There's Jesse.
Yo, are you live?
Yeah, we're
we
both
had
live.
a severe thunderstorm warning that had the 100-mile-per-hour wind gust tag.
Hey, you gonna mark that off of the
That's on the
board?
Yeah.
Wait, was that picture you sent, like, happening right now?
What picture?
The one before Vincent said 100-mile-per-hour severe.
Yeah, that was a high rate wind in that area.
What's up?
That was a high rate wind area, yeah.
That happened?
Yes.
Was there a big tornado in it or no?
There was a tornado. We don't know any size. We don't know the size, but we haven't got any reports or anything. But
Okay.
so here we go. Look at this. We get to mark it off. Where's the 100-mile-an-hour speed one? There it is.
All right, I'll be back in a bit. Sorry, I was like wondering about that. Bye, chat. Peace out, Vincent. Peace out, Davis.
See you, Jesse. Again, that warning expires in 9 minutes, so we'll have to wait and see what they do with the next one. So.
We need a PDS severe watch and a strong anticyclonic tornado, and that column will be completely filled out. That'll be a bingo.
Do you think that's possible?
I don't know. I probably not the strong anticyclonic tornado, but we'll see. It's not impossible.
Alright, news tornado warning in Oklahoma. We'll get to that once it pops up here. Any minute now. Any minute.
I went through the whole Jeopardy theme and it still didn't pop up, so.
Hold on.
I guess it's an extension for one of our rotations that we already have because there's no new areas that appear immediately concerning.
1 second.
Oh, I believe that was actually just an update to a tornado warning.
Oh. You know what?
So, that would be an update to the tornado warning that we have for Durant, Oklahoma.
Yep.
There's a special high-res radar out here, but
Oh, wow. They just warned it.
Oh, the San Angelo storm, okay.
So, if you are in the northern part of San Angelo, if you're in downtown San Angelo, or Carlsbad, Texas there, I do have a tornado warned part of this line here that is moving into your location. So again, make sure you are getting into your safe spot, into an interior room or a closet, because either way you're going to be hit by 70 to 80 mile per hour winds, and also this possible, this tornadic rotation that's developing here. So really not the greatest situation here that we're seeing unfold, because again, San Angelo is obviously a very populated area. But it seems like the area of rotation may go just to the north of there, so we're hoping that that's the case, but definitely not something that we want to see.
Yeah, so again, your rotation there is going to be located right now just southwest of Carlsbad. That's eventually going to make its way towards Carlsbad. Somewhat broad right now, but again, either way, you need to be taking this seriously and taking shelter, because we do have an elevated pocket of winds of 70 to 80 miles an hour as this approaches Carlsbad. So again, make sure you're taking that seriously and taking shelter. I'd also like to point out again our what was I going to say? Okay, yep, that's all I had to say.
We did get a new tornado watch. It is going out for parts of northwestern Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, and northeastern Texas there. They do say that they mention the threat of a couple strong tornadoes being possible, scattered hail up to ping pong ball size possible, and scattered gusts up to 70 miles per hour likely. I did not expect the couple strong tornadoes possible, but I guess that is something that we cannot rule out.
Yeah, they did mention it in the mesoscale discussion that gusts over 130 are going to be possible with any intense tornadoes that do develop. So, again, that brand new tornado watch there going out for portions of the Tulsa metro region, and then also going all the way out to sections of northwest Arkansas like Fayetteville, Harrison, and Fort Smith. So if you're in that brand new tornado watch, make sure that you multiple ways to receive alerts overnight. Make sure that you are prepared and you know where you're going to go if a tornado warning does get issued for your location. Our severe thunderstorm warning for Erie County, the destructive one expires in 5 minutes. We did just get a brand new tornado warning that's going out for Cross Plains, Texas. again, this is the supercell we mentioned earlier that's underwent a merger here, and that has now intensified its rotation. So if you're in cross planes, again, you've already had to undergo this precaution about 5 times today, but you need to be seeking shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows in an interior room. Your rotation will be located right over Burkett. Very broad, but somewhat intense, and you've also got hail up to golf ball size with that. It's nothing to play around with.
Yeah.
Spalding, Oklahoma, reporting damage to homes. Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff from a lot of these small rural communities in southeast Oklahoma that have been impacted tonight. Again, it's quite sad to see. And a lot of these same areas were impacted on the April 27th, 2024 tornado outbreak.
1 second, everybody. Sorry about that, everybody. Unfortunately, I do have to go. It is 12:41 in the morning here. It's very, very late. So I do need to get some sleep. But happy Easter, everyone. I hope you guys have a great day spending time with family. Make sure that you are, again, staying safe out there if you are being impacted by severe weather either tonight or tomorrow. But again, if you're in the San Angelo metro, or just, the greater San Angelo area, make sure you are taking this very seriously and getting to shelter, because again, we have that tornado warning and 80-mile-per-hour destructive. So again, thank y'all for tuning in, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank y'all for coming to watch. See you guys in the next video.